We will start today's proceedings with the invocation of ICA Motto song. Let us all raise for ICA Motto as a mark of respect to our mother institute.
यैषस्तुप्तेषु जागृति यैषस्तुप्तेषु जागृति कामं 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 कामंशो पुरुषो निर्विमाणः निर्विमाणः तदेव शुक्रं तदेव शुक्रब्रह्मा तद्ब्रह्मा तदेवामृतमुच्यते तस्मिन् लोकः तस्मिन् लोकः सर्वे तदूनाद्यपि कश्चन एतद्वैता 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 एतद्वैता.
Thank you. Please be seated. May I now request SLC Secretary Ayampal and Migration Arun to deliver his welcome address.
Good morning to all. Every year, normally, when we have a budget, so a lot of amendments and other things is there. We'll have points to discuss and get clarified with the eminent speakers. This time is an interim budget. We all know that it is interim budget. Very soon, another 4 or 5 months in the month of June or July, we are going to have another budget. So, with the expectation of we may get some procedural changes in our budget. At least it is not possible for them to introduce new schemes and other things. We may expect, we are expecting some procedural changes. So government also think that everything will do it in the month of June or July. So that there is no big announcements and changes, nothing, almost nothing is there in the budget yesterday, that interim budget. But however, with that expectation, we organized yesterday and today also for a budget session with the eminent speaker like Suresh, especially the person known as TDS Master. TDS Master. So whatever the sir, welcome sir. Whatever the changes we have in the income tax as well as the GST. So I think it will take another, they will have only the content for 20 to 30 minutes max. I don't know. It is the test for them. If there is nothing in the budget, what to talk, what to deliver for the speakers. So after that, since we have 2 experts in income tax as well as GST, so we can have a question and answer session for the general queries we have in our practice. At least we use their timing in a useful manner. So with this, I welcome both the speaker T.G Suresh sir as well as Prasanna Krishnan sir for on behalf of SIRC and all the members. So warm welcome to each and every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. May I now request Prasanna Krishnan sir to come and talk by the dais, please. It's my privilege to introduce TGS sir. He is a graduate in commerce from Vivekananda College, Chennai. He is a chartered accountant, cost and management accountant and company secretary. C.A. Suresh sir is also a leading faculty in Chennai in domestic taxation, international taxation, financial management, cost accounting and financial accounting for close to 30 years. He has been a pioneer and a role model for thousands of students pursuing chartered accountancy, cost and management accountancy and corporate secretarial courses. He is also a visiting faculty for taxation at the regional councils of ICI at Chennai, Bengaluru, Mysuru, Ernakulam and Cuttack. Many students fondly call him CGS for his exemplary discussion of capital gains. He has been a regular faculty in RTA Chennai, which conducts training of income tax officials. He is a winner of National Award from Capital Foundation Society, New Delhi, from the Union Law Minister. He has produced many rank holders in CA, CMA and CS examinations. He is the author of several publications as well. With this brief, I have great pleasure in presenting before you TGS sir. May I now request the Secretary sir to present him with a shawl and memento. Our next speaker, CA Prasanna Krishnan, is a founder partner of a Chennai-based firm of a practicing chartered accountant. He is a successful indirect tax law counsel appearing before Honorable Customs, Excise and Service Tax Appellate Tribunals, VAT Appellate Tribunals in various states and Custom Appellate Authorities, GST Appellate Forums. His suggestions related to customized government levy scheme has been acknowledged by Honorable Prime Minister Office on 24/7/2015 for favorable consideration while implementing in stages the Goods and Services Tax Act in India. And in April 2020, his views and ideas are written to Ministry of Finance to enable OTP-based GSTR filing options to about 1.1 million corporate GST payers during nationwide lockdown was accepted and implemented. And he is a professional who delivers lectures in various government forums. He is the founder, a member of few non-profit academies and societies focusing on indirect tax law related to academic activities as well as social services. With this brief, I am presenting before you CA Prasanna Krishnan sir. May I now request Arun sir to present him also with a shawl and memento. Now I leave the floor to T.G SURESH sir and Prasanna Krishnan sir to clause-by-clause analysis of Union Budget 2024. We recognize the presence of Regional Council Member Revati S. Raghunathan Madam also. Over to the speakers.
Good morning. Good morning. In fact, I thought there may not be much of the members today, notwithstanding the fact that you have paid something for coming for this program. In any case, I thought there would be more people outside signing and going, but therefore, as a result of that, I invite my good friend Sundar. He was shocked. I told him that you have to come for today's program, there is going to be CPE credit. Of course, that's the CPE credit. He was wondering why T.G SURESH suddenly pass on because everybody knows there is nothing in this. At least I met some of my students. They were the students of 1990s actually. Normally I don't tell this because I'm a age factor using on but I வந்து கேட்டேன் என்னம்மா இன்னைக்கு எப்படி வந்தீங்க அப்படின்னு. இல்லை சார் நீங்கள் சாதாரணமாகவே நீங்கள் கிளாஸில் எப்படியுமே அந்த காலத்தில் ஒன்றுமே இல்லாமல் ஒரு 3 hour பேசுவீங்க. உங்களுக்கு அந்த டேலண்ட் கண்டினியூ ஆகுதா இல்லையான்னு பார்க்கணும். ஜஸ்ட் அதுக்கு தான் வந்தோம். அங்கே ஏதாவது உங்களுக்கு பழசெல்லாம் மறந்துட்டீங்களா இல்லையா அப்படின்ட்டு. ஐ திங்க் இட்ஸ் டெஃபினட்டாக கிரேட். என்னுடைய இது இன்ஃபேக்ட் அருண் சார் ரொம்ப ஒரே ஒரு ரிக்வஸ்ட்டு, இந்த மாதிரி ப்ரோக்ராமில் அந்த மொமெண்ட்டை விட்டு ரொம்ப கஷ்டமாக இருக்குது ஆக்சுவலாக. அந்த மொமெண்ட்டை வாங்கிறதுக்கு ஜென்ரலாகவே ஐ டெல் தி இன்ஸ்டிடியூட் டோன்ட் கிவ் இட் டு மீ, பட் இன்னைக்கு ரொம்ப ஆல் தி
இல்லை சார், ஓட்டான் அக்கௌண்ட் பட்ஜெட்டாக இருந்தாலும் பட்ஜெட் தாக்கல் பண்ணி தான் ஆகணும். அது மாதிரி தான் இது.
ஆமாம், அதாவது அவங்க வந்து இது ஓட்டான் அக்கௌண்ட் தான், இல்லை ஓட்டுக்கான பட்ஜெட். So anyhow, it is more, of course, you all would have listened to that 58 minutes. It's more about what happened in the last 10 years. அப்படின்ற அப்புறம் மோர் ரிப்போர்ட் கார்டு. ஆக்சுவலாக நான் வந்து ஒரு ஸ்கூலுக்கு போன மாதிரி இந்த பையனோட ஸ்கூலுக்கு வந்து இந்த கூப்பிடுவாங்க. ஆக்சுவலாக நான் மோஸ்ட்லி டக் அடிச்சலாம் இன்னைக்கான்னு மாட்டோம். அது மாதிரி ஒரு ஸோ உங்கள் பையன் என்ன பண்ணான்னா ஆக்சுவலாக 2014 நாங்கள் நடந்தோம் வந்தோம் அப்படின்ற மாதிரி ஒரு ரிப்போர்ட் கார்டு. பட் ஐ திங்க் ஒன் இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் காம்ப்ளிமெண்ட் வி ஷுட் டூ here is that in an election year, I think definitely somebody would have been tempted to increase the standard action or to increase the rebate in the 87A, to play to the galleries. I think that's what, I'm honest with you, if I'm the finance minister, I would have done that. Very honestly, I would have made 7 lakhs to 9 lakhs, and if we are voted back to power, we'll make it as 14 lakhs. Those kind of things, I have salaried action, I will consider even abolition of tax on salaries, which is definitely one which they should honestly consider. Because I've been recommending for the last 3-4 years. There is one company for which we are doing an investment validation, which has got only 200 employees and new tax regime, and we have to verify 10,000 documents of a company with 200 employees. The only thing which slightly momentum in memory. The 40,000 document verified pandrathu we are getting paid for but it's a terrific waste of time. You all know that if you say the PAN number has to be given for rent 1 lakh na a mortal 99,999 rent கொடுப்பாங்க actually. The rent limit 50,000 வந்து அடுத்த மாசமே எப்படி ரெண்ட் குறையுதே தெரியாது actually. So அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு இதுல இருக்கும்போது it's no, of course at the end of the day very honestly just visualize for a moment 100 rupees per month per child up to maximum of 2 children. இந்த 100 ரூபாய்க்கு யாரான எஜுகேஷன் கிடைச்சிட்டுனா அதுல வந்து பாராட்ட வேண்டிய விஷயம். I think we have to be a little bit more practical. I think salary class deserves, but hopefully in July budget, Madam will consider that if they are put it back to the power. So she is confident that she will come back and she will present. We wish her good luck, but you should also wish me good luck. So just to Arul சொல்லிட்டாரு அட்லீஸ்ட் ஒரு 11 மணி வரைக்கும் அப்படின்ட்டு நானே இது ஒரு ட்ரெய்லர்லாம் போட்டு எப்படிலாம் கட்டுறது நிறைய விஷயம்லாம் சொன்னாங்க. நம்பர் ஆஃப் டேஸ் ரிட்டர்ன்ஸ் குறைஞ்சிட்டு. இன்ஃபேக்ட் the only notable point in the budget was writing off of that liability of up to 25,000, 10,000. சரி நான் வந்து நேற்றுக்கு அருண் கேட்டேன் சார் ப்ரோக்ராம் நடத்துகிறோமா இல்லையா அப்படின்ட்டு. சார் CPE அப்ரூவெலாம் வாங்கியாச்சு 150 பேர் ரெஜிஸ்டர் பண்ணிட்டாங்க என்ன பண்ணிக்கலாம் வந்துரு. சரி இதுவானு பேசினாங்களே இது எங்கேயான இந்த ஃபினான்ஸ் பில் இருக்கும் அப்படின்னு நம்ம செக் பண்ணா அதுவும் இல்லை. ஏன்னா அந்த 25,000, 10,000 கூட நம்ம பேச முடியலையே அப்படின்னா சரி ஒரே ஒரு ப்ரொவிஷன் மட்டும் இருந்தது 206C 1G. அது கூட என்னன்னு பார்த்தோன்னா அவங்க ஏற்கனவே கிளாரிஃபை பண்ணதை they made it as a part of act. அதை தவிர அதுலேயும் ஒன்றும் இல்லை. ஸோ we will try to make the whatever time at least ஒரு 5 நிமிஷம் உங்களால் சீக்க முடிஞ்சது அதெல்லாம் எல்லாம் பண்ண முடியும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். ஸோ அதில் என்ன ரொம்ப நிறைய செம்மையாக இருந்தேன் ஆக்சுவலாக. என் ஒய்ஃப் வந்து ஃபஸ்ட்டு அவங்க முதல்ல இதாச்சாங்க இப்போ என்ன எனக்கு நீங்கள் வந்து லாஸ்ட் ஒரு 27-28 இயர்ஸாக நீங்கள் ஒரு ப்ராமிஸ் பண்ணி ஒன்றுமே பண்ணா இருக்க மாதிரி இப்போ என்ன பண்ண போகிறீங்க அப்படின்னு அங்கேருந்து ஆரம்பிச்சு சார் வந்து கேட்டார் ஆக்சுவலாக. சார் உங்கள் லேப்டாப் இங்கேருந்து ஆஃபீஸ் போட்டு லேப்டாப் எடுத்துனோம்மா ஆக்சுவலாக. அவர் நான் ஏதோ ப்ரெசன்டேஷன்லாம் எடுத்துகிட்டு வந்தேன் நினச்சி என்ன பண்ணார் சார் உங்கள் ப்ரெசன்டேஷன் வாட்ஸ்அப் பண்ணிக்கிறீங்களா இமெயில் பண்ணுறீங்களா அப்படின்னு அவருக்காக சரி ஜஸ்ட்டு ஒரு ஏதாவது போட்டுப்போ அப்படின்ட்டு. ஸோ வெரி ஆனஸ்ட்லி எங்களுடைய ப்ராப்ளம் கிடையாது ஆக்சுவலாக. Nothing was there. In fact, 2019 there was some provision was there. 2 houses self-occupied, 2 exemption 54. அதை வச்சு 2 மணி நேரம் ஷோராக பேசிக்கலாம். பட் இப்போ நான் 2019 பேசினா ரொம்ப கஷ்டம். So here some of the provisions we changed the So as the Finance Minister was talking about, there are certain provisions which I don't think requires a serious discussion as such. That 1st March 2024 it is expiring. So they said that since these provisions are not going to be there by the time the next budget is going to be presented, I will extend that by 1 year. Couple of things which are notable there is what I will discuss, not these things. One is the 115 bill, there is you must be aware of, a lot of incentives were given, the concession rate of tax were there. One very important provision which came a couple of years back, rather a little bit more earlier, so we had a tax holiday or rather a concession rate of tax of 15% for a new manufacturer. So that is also expiring on 31st March 2024. So possibly you'll be aware of, we have the concept of the China plus 1 is the theme. So to encourage new manufacturing units, there was a concession rate of tax of 15% was introduced, that is also expiring on 31st March 2024. But unfortunately that provision was not extended. So I'm sure that when they come back to power, whoever comes back to power in July, I think possibly there is a good possibility of that getting extended. But however, right now, so many provisions which are, I would say, which are slightly trivial, which has been extended because they checked, control, HRD report, they found 24, they extended 25 every time. But how they missed out this internal action? This is something which should have been extended, but unfortunately it's not there. That means a concession rate of tax of 15% for the new manufacturing unit which is expiring has not been extended. That means if it is not extended, that will come under only 22% tax or 25% tax as the case may be. So if you choose a new tax regime. So that is one which is a very, very significant miss out. But one thing which possibly many of us will be very happy if at all, because most of us, like after seeing the online classes, online program for quite some time, so we all wanted to be present physically. You see today, you knowing well that you are physically present. So the faceless scheme was supposed to be extended to transfer pricing as well as ITAT also. In fact, a new scheme has to be introduced. They said that we will float a scheme before 31st March 2024. Luckily, I would call it as luckily because we all know that there is nothing like explaining and interacting. At least the faceless scheme, in my view, has to be given only for those issues which are a covered matter, which doesn't require a deliberation. That can be on a faceless mode. I cannot imagine or visualize how you can explain the complex transfer pricing procedure because of the fact the way in which the comparables are removed, the way in which comparables are taken by the department, unless we are going to explain to them, because it's a very complex even for professional like us, but I think to be very fair to the assessing officers also, it's going to be very tough for them. But however, they thought we had to use the technology and therefore the transfer pricing and ITAT should also go to the faceless regime, and the scheme will be notified before 31st March 2024. Luckily, so far that has not been introduced, and using this interim budget, Honorable Finance Minister, that the time for notifying the scheme has been extended to 31st March 2025. So, of course, we all know, it's extended till 31st March 2025, they may issue at any time, that could be our logical point. But however, next to 4 months, in any case, they're going to be pretty busy with the elections. See, normally all of us, not only us, even the government also, like generally, and the scheme is going to expire on 31st March 2025, many times you have seen, that notification will come today for something which is going to be effective from tomorrow. So we will not have the time, so therefore, at least that might come a little bit later. That's a very important welcome move in my view, because faceless for ITAT and faceless for transfer pricing, I think we should resort to only for those cases that are absolutely covered by a jurisdictional high court, or the cases are already settled by some other bench favorably to the assessor. I think other than that, I think we should not have a faceless in total, because it needs a lot of time to understand the expressions, other things, they do matter in an appellate proceedings. So of course this is a very important change in the sense like the change is already known. It was not having any statutory backing as such. So what they have done is they brought it as a part of legislation itself. It was a very surprising move last time, because the first question any assessee asked, no, sir, the 20% என்ன பண்றது, because foreign travel things have become this thing, or children studying outside India are very, very common. So once they've introduced this, I think in my lifetime the most asked question of recent times for me is only this TCS. So many people are asking this question. Of course, they've extended this from 1st July to 1st of October. When it was extended, a lot of clarifications on certain points were given, and now that has been brought as a part of legislation. It's not that this is, I won't call it as this is an interim budget proposal. The proposal which was already there has been now given a legal sanction by way of an amendment in the Act. One very, very noticeable point here is that the overseas tour package, which was attracting TCS earlier without any threshold limit, now of course it's already there, but it's also been part of the Act. So the applicability of 20% starts only in excess of 7 lakhs. So that is something which is a very important point. So one related point here. So let's assume, so I take you to a educational program, say let's study taxation, how taxation works in US. So I say that let's study the double taxation, let's study how the transfer pricing works in United States. I said, well, I am going to organize a program. I say the program fixes say 50,000. So you pay me 50,000 rupees. So I engage a travel agency for booking the ticket, hotel stay and other things. So what I collect, I am going to pay to him. On my payment to the travel agent, I have already deducted TDS. But the amount which you pay me for 50,000 US, I think all of you are, I think, ready with the check and everything. So 50,000 example also like that. US 50,000 rupees transfer pricing package. Now, I think transfer pricing is immediate. I'm just giving only as a reference example one. So now whether TCS I should collect or not. So today we will study the entire how transfer pricing mechanism works before the finance minister comes back and decides to put the faceless scheme for TP in India. So we'll go and study how the US transfer pricing system works. All of you are excited. So 100 of you register. So I can book the ticket and other things. So therefore I put a travel agent for us. So he will take care of accommodation, everything. So I will organize the tour. So I'm going to in turn engage an agent for booking the flight and etc. Obviously, I have to deduct TDS when I make the payment under 194C of the Income Tax Act. So when I receive from you, so should I have to apply the provisions of TCS? Should I have to take 50,000? I mean, if it is 50,000 possible, 10,000 you will not mind. Obviously, a package for US could cost 5 lakhs, right? Minimum. You are going to go for a 7-day tour with stay and travel cost to US, it is going to cost minimum of 5 lakhs. If I am going to say for 5 lakhs along with 20% TCS 6 lakhs, that's going to be, so even though this 1 lakh you can adjust, that's fine. But possibly some of you might decide to opt out because as against 5 lakhs, if I am going to charge 6 lakhs, including these, you may adjust it against your tax returns, that's fine. But still, you may be a little bit hesitant to do it. But can I shelter on the point, since the payment I have made to a travel agent has already been subject to deduction under 194C, this does not require TCS, or what is your view on the same? You just think it over, maybe like, maybe it is some thought process for you to think on this, but we have understood the issue, no? So I am taking you for a tax program to US to study the transfer pricing system in US, 5 lakhs per person for a 1 week tour. So obviously I cannot book the train, book the hotels and stay, which I am engaging a travel agent for that. So whatever I collect from you, I pay to you. So whether this amount which I receive from you, does it require the applicability of 2061, or should I have to collect only 5 lakhs or 6 lakhs? Can the income tax man come back and say, you should have collected TCS also? Will I be violating all that? Just think over, we'll discuss this particular point. Maybe Prasanna can add a few things and then we can debate on this particular point as well as some more issues as suggested by Arun. We can, having come here, we can make use of the time. I will also learn, of course, learn from you. So meanwhile, before we think over this particular point, I'll call upon my good friend Prasanna to share a few thoughts and what I missed out in indirect tax.
Good morning. Good morning.
The same doubt what my learned friend T.G was having, I had to have. After hearing me, you can come to this mode, not before that. Right. And reading the indirect tax law, I have heard that from few. That is a little tough job. But reading the data relating to indirect tax law proposal from your printer itself is going to take some time. It was not known to me. Of course, now I am seeing that. Of course, as far as this time budget is concerned, we had anticipated a lot of serious changes by this time, and at the same time we had some doubt that whether they will be introducing those things now. So a little has been done, a lot is there still. We'll just discuss what has been done, what could have been done, and what is expected, and what is the effect of whatever has been done. A little I told you, what is the repercussion of those things, we'll just have a quick look. Before getting into that one, this will be of some serious use. I'll just tell how it is useful for any indirect tax practitioner like us actually. We are of the opinion that any person who is in practice relating to indirect tax is supposed to look at the micro numbers for decision making. The biggest problem is only when you know the macro numbers, you are going to be a good consultant. You can be a good advocate if you are good in micro study. But to be a consultant where before starting certain project or business or things and all, you have your own style of study of the numbers, then it helps a lot. I will not go in depth to this one, but the broad thing is a trend you are able to see. This I will just explain very briefly. Those who are interested may kindly just continue this in your practice to see that. Yes, for past 20 years plus I am just doing it. A lot of inputs we are getting it seriously from that actually. We could anticipate that exactly what will happen there during the year 2020-21 on the basis of certain numbers as per the petroleum price. So we were able to understand that for not less than next to 400 days plus there will not be any change in the petrol price. We planned, we could know. So this was having a serious, because we could read these numbers. From this number only we are also understanding. We don't have any kind of big case actually. At the same time, what are the changes happening there in the customs micro level PC? We are having some clear idea. Say for example, the central excise duty and also the customs duty. Today central excise related matter is relating only to petroleum more or less. So, and customs is having its own impact, of course, including the petroleum it is dealing with. Whenever you see some kind of correlation study between central excise and customs collection, you will be able to easily predict that what the government is trying to do. It's easy. It is quite, the confidential matter is always there, and it is only responding to the market is again clear. It's a market-driven decision is again clear. Still, you can easily understand that what a very foreseeable short future, about over some 6 months to 1 year time, what will be the style in which government is going to handle this. This study is trying to tell us that there will be some significant change. We cannot discuss in detail. If off the body we can discuss, that is okay. So there can be some serious changes in the petroleum price in this course of time actually. And then secondly, as far as GST is concerned, there will be more focus on technology-based and investigation-based studies hereafter. I'll tell the reasons later when time permits actually. The numbers are telling us. The policy you can easily understand. Be ready for more investigation-based notice. Be ready for maybe even artificial intelligence, your tool-used based notices. And also the style in which the work will be there is not about the assessments. Assessments are there, it is a natural result of any process actually. Before going to the core points of this one, we can just quickly have a look on these things. For a long time, we are studying it, we can easily understand the trend. I will just show another slide also to understand this. Always the ratio between the direct tax collection and the indirect tax collection had always been giving a lot of inputs to us. By and large, it started somewhere in 2011-12 to come equal actually, somewhere around 49 to 51, 49.5 to 50.5, mostly it was coming in that. Slowly it just moved towards a little different situation by 2017-18. I will say the reason later. Now, what we are understanding is the direct tax collections are too high comparing to indirect tax collection. I think there is a very careful planned policy there actually. That is the reason why we will, if time permits, we will discuss in detail also. This is clearly showing that there is a clear plan that how you make complaints in one law. As a result, you are just making that procedure is coming there into another law also. This is something like your school days mathematics. If you are having x and y, if you know the value of y, you will fix x. That's how it is. Nothing more than that. So if you know where the revenue loss and leakage is there in one set of laws, say namely direct tax laws, if you fix it, naturally you are going to gain more in indirect taxes. Then another round of things, certain activities which are more focused on indirect taxes, you are getting that again. That's how it goes. Now it is in the second phase. First phase, as I told you, in 1780. You can just have a look on this. Both blue bars, blue circles you can just see. This is the period in which the complete shift has happened there. Completely direct tax crossed far away went comparing to the indirect tax collection. Perhaps the major reason officially I could see is only one thing, November 2016 matters actually. You know what I am referring to. So from that time there is a complete shift in the direct tax collection versus indirect tax collection, and from there it started to support more actually. And the number of assessees registered, number of cases registered and collected, yes, registered is different one, collected is different, totally different. You can just sue somebody for taxation, whether you are winning and collecting the money makes a lot of difference. And the self-complaints. So in that sense, this particular small bracket what you are having there on the left side, and then you can see the trend there. The percentages you see, never it will become equal later. The last 5 bars you see, it will not be equal at all. Direct tax would have gone far away. So this is the trend what we are able to understand. Now, naturally the next government which is going to come there need to focus simply on indirect tax related matters series, because reasonably they have got certain base settled there. From that one, they have to collect the data. This is the starting point where you will be surprised to see sometime back, once upon a time, to see your Form 26A is reading GST or 3B data. Suddenly one day you will see, what nonsense it is it a printing error or any kind of software error? Because you can always doubt a lot actually. These software guys are extremely dangerous. They do anything and everything without having any worry that they are working for whom. The very government itself is their client. They are not bothered about it. Left and right they do. Software guy is a person who is totally different, because he is ready to give his product in his own way. How you consume. That's how it is. Not to disrespect any information technologies, very nice services to do, but still, it was a helicopter. Trained pilot as well as co-pilot were running the helicopter. So the pilot is a very experienced man, and co-pilot is relatively not so experienced, but very impressed by the pilot's driving skill and all. He was flying very well. Unfortunately, when they are about to get on to the land actually, there are some kind of hurricane or something, and it got disrupted, very corrupted situation, and they are not able to communicate well. And this pilot is trying his level best to reach the base through somebody, and is not able to get the signal back at all. So he is very sure that there is no reachable signal nearby at all, and still he tries his level best. With a lot of efforts to some civil building he was able to reach. This was the highest building. Civil building he was able to reach. He just sent a message. Where are we? Because he is not able to clearly guess where it is, what it is, whether he is landing in enemy's land at all. He is not very sure. So still, we wanted to where we are. The pilot sending message, SOS message, to the ground level where he is getting some signal back. After a few seconds, on his screen, he got a message saying that you are inside your helicopter. Pilot said that extraordinary. We are just very near to Microsoft office only, let us get down. That should be the building of that one. They landed in the terrace with an excellent landing. Very intelligent pilot, somehow managed the turmoil and get down. The co-pilot still was wondering that what this man's skill is. If somebody says I am so and so, then he can understand. He said that you are inside your helicopter, but this guy is able to clearly tell that somebody related to software, Microsoft related office only. How he was able to do it? After getting told, sir, because we are always used to, we wondering about the senior. The senior is a very heroic personality in our life always. The senior is, whatever you say, senior is a hero. At least for me, I always believe. Senior is a hero. Anything and everything what he is doing is somewhat extraordinary. So this man went to him with the kind of same feeling and said that, sir, Mr. Pilot, very impressive it is, and you got off. How did you land is not a big thing. How did you decode this?
He said that you were inside the helicopter. He simply said, see, in this whole world, if somebody is talking totally nonsense but technically correct, he will be only software engineer. So I could understand that this could be the area from which you are getting it. So that's it. So with all due respect, here also, so much of new changes were coming there in reporting, there both direct and indirect reports were coming together. So your GST department was issuing notice on the basis of your 26 years. Your income tax department was referring to GST return filed by you and saying that how much you are declared there and why you are not declaring to me. So that's how things were. So there, that integration has started already for the past 5 years plus, actually 5.5 years now. So there are some developments which are happening there. The message to take away is there cannot be a separate practice of direct tax only, just closing eyes towards the indirect tax, or we cannot turn blind eye towards another set of law. There need to be definitely at least a little interest in respect of basics of another set of law, because it is affecting your core practice. Core practice in indirect taxes or core practice in direct taxes. So request you to see that even if you are very happy with the direct taxes, please have a look on the indirect tax also a little, or vice versa. And last but 5 points, this one. As I was telling you, for more than about some 18-19 years, FRBM related matters we are closely followed. If you are seeing this, let us not go in detail to it. Those who are having interest may kindly just continue this. Not at the cost of your valuable time, I would like to go into detailed studies. But to kindle your interest, what is the litigation quantum? How much is the money involved, tax money is involved under the dispute? Those who are accepting with the dispute, and there is no dispute at all, but party is not able to be traced. Traceable parties are not there and traceable assets are not there. These are two set of things. From 2017 we are seeing this trend. So you can just see that. Is it readable? I think that's a big problem. Okay, anyway, I'll just help you by writing numbers. See, approximately 21 lakh crores are there as uncollected. Major division is approximately 11 lakh crore disputed for 1 to 10 years time in the various packets. Another 9,80,000 rupees are there under dispute, and the parties are not traceable, assets are not traceable, legal problem, this, that, and all. Just for a while we will go to an imaginary world. Just for a while. Hypothetically, if there is a mechanism of government spending 1 lakh crore, I mean it, 1 lakh crore, to ensure that a strenuous tax collection task force as well as tax dispute redressal mechanism is ensured. 1 lakh crore throughout India. Let me say some 1,000 court come redressal system is there, or court come dispute resolution system is there. 1,000, 1 lakh crore spent for 1 year fully. Their job is to see that all the old items they pick it up and then sit that and see that they are enforcing it with a special law provision or with the existing legal provision itself. And they see that only half of these are collected and the rest of the things are written off. Leave it. They are dead, they are not available, they are run away, all these things are fine, what it is. They take a lot of responsibility, finish off. 11 lakh rupees at least will be there in the kitty of government by the end of 1 year. Leave that 1 lakh crore rupees spent towards this alone, say for example. Still you are having 10 lakh crore. 10 lakh crore is not a small number. Approximately more than about 30% of your tax can be waived. Or at least for 1 full year, you can say that there is no customs duty in this country and 75% of the indirect taxes are waived. Do you have your GST bill 18% as a chartered accountant? Okay, you can pay just for that particular year, 4.5% is enough. That's all. Balance amount 13.5%, you can just remove it. Leave it. If you are having 28% for your car as GST, leave it. 21% you leave it, 7% you have. That much money is there in disputes. And who is going to address this? This is continuing there for more than some, to my knowledge, 18 years plus, as far as the data is available. It is keeping on accumulating, badly accumulating. So there should be some serious mechanism, some kind of political will as well as administrative will to get into this matter and take it up very seriously. Because the number is too big, very big. And at least in indirect taxes, you are having about some 2 lakh crore plus. Direct taxes, a lot of grievances are keeping on coming there. And if you are seriously a direct tax practitioner, none of you will be having a situation where you don't have any commissioner appeal matter pending with you for less than 2 years. If you are saying it, I have to give you some kind of treat today. I am a chartered accountant, I am doing seriously some income tax practice, but I don't have any file in my hand where for more than 2 years time I am waiting for a hearing itself from commissioner appeal on baseless basis. If you say, please come forward, I will give a good treat to you. There are very good holidays are there. I will just give a good treat to you. It's a situation for you. So that is a serious need to settle this matter. Yeah. Now, this is what I was just referring to. You can just see those red colored numbers if you are able to. So those things were the numbers I was just telling you. Now we will come to the core part of our discussion. One major change, not major change, a change which was required actually. That is when section 2 subsection 61 in this law, that is CGST Act 2017, which is talking about input service distributor, ISD. The concept you know, just for the sake of comfort level of all, I will just briefly tell you in half a minute. You have a lot of input services for a particular distinct person registered in a particular state. If you are registered and collecting your input tax credits, you are just collecting it usually. That's normal. But for some reason, as a corporate office, as an administrative office, as a central office, some common services belonging to a very larger area than the state, if you are collecting it, then it is your duty to see that you are distributing the credit what you are collecting actually. This is what is normally done. There is a concept already, it's not new. Literally concept, even in service tax time also it was there. It is about 1 decade plus concept actually. In GST law right from the beginning it is there, nothing new actually. What has been done now is, see the red line there, part actually. There is an underlining in red color. It is talking about 9394, section 9, subsection 3, section 9, subsection 4 also. It is talking about that for what actually? It's a question. So section 9.3 and section 9.4 are talking about the reverse charge. As an ISD, if you are doing your work, just if the law is referring to section 31 invoices, only forward charges are covered. Reverse charge is not covered. There is a big trouble in the field information level and hundreds of notices have been issued meaninglessly to see that they are denying the ITC relating to reverse charge what you have paid and then distributing to your people. Just to set it right, this has come there and a lot of show cause notices will get nullified because of this good amendment. Actually, it would have been done well in advance, but belatedly done. Just to accommodate that one, the old provision of 21 has been corrected, and to see that the same provisions effect, that what I have discussed about the 261 is coming here also. So now 21 is getting amended to see that what kind of invoicing and distribution will be happening. That is referred here. It means that you will not have troubles hereafter relating to this input service distribution basically. We will have newly included or inserted section 122A1. Is about what? There were some things that were 1 lakh rupees penalty for. 1 lakh rupee penalty for what is this? The concept is not new actually. Again, the concept relating to this tobacco pan masala industry is already there. It was supposed to come somewhere by 2017. It's a strong lobby. Extraordinary lobby was there, and government was honestly fighting against the lobby to see that they are somehow one day bringing in the control over this. The problem here is no one is interested about this going back to the era of Inspector Raj. You know very well in central excise time for every single cigarette manufacturer there will be a focus that how much is that. There will be an inspector always there. He will be counting it, he will be counting it or not, I don't know. He will be sitting there and giving clearance. That's all. In all large manufacturing practice. For every BD there will be label and label will be there on that one. So we were all unhappy with the system that you don't believe the SSCs, why are you doing so? Because that time the life was different about some 100 years back. 100 years back the foreigner was the ruler and he was not believing it. He was ready to see that Queen is getting her share very clearly. So he was always doubted. So he was having a district administrator called as collector without serious care. Even today also we are continuing with the name collector actually. Because collector's job is only collecting. So he was appointed to collect. So he is not a district administrator. Administration is not a problem for the foreigner in this country. He wanted a collector, the collector was there. So unfortunately we are continuing that. There is a different one. You know, some good man will come there and change these names and all, at least for namesake. Fine. Coming back to this one, those things are not the one very keenly expected, but there are a lot of cases of revenue loss because of this particular industry. We don't know why. A lot of freedom was given, and on a test basis they were allowed to do for self-compliances. A lot of missings were there and lapses were there in this industry. So again, they have to see that they are bringing in the control. Now what kind of control is talked about? What all is told here in this matter is the question actually. The first point is, in this case, sorry. Should go back. So the guidelines given to this industry is in specific has been brought inside. If you are having any clients in this line, or if any person is dealing in this respect, please note these points actually. It's all relating to the specific two chapters actually. Pan masala, gupka, snuff, branded one or filtered one, or the kind of refusers of the tobacco or gupka. These things are all the things which are coming under this category 21 and 24 chapter actually. Here they are introducing a concept for registering your machines. You are hearing clearly, registering the machines. What is the need for registering the machines? Machines registration under the form SRM1, SRM2, SRM2A, SRM3, SRM4. These are the forms introduced as to know that what is the capacity with which it is working. And you cannot go for a wrong declaration actually, because even the electricity is linked there. That's the style in which it goes. If you are using electricity, on the basis of electricity, how much you have produced, you can easily calculate. The form is trying to see that on a regular basis, the data is collected to correlate the production with this one and to see that whether it is correctly done or not, considering the revenue potential involved and also the potential for evasion actually. So these forms have already been introduced, not new actually. Now legally it is given a kind of legal sanction actually for this purpose. Both the notification related to this as well as that. It has come there from August 2023 itself. This provision 122 is introduced there for the purpose of levying penalty for any violation relating to registration of machine. Hitherto, specifically there was no, because you have to go for general class for this one. But now 1 lakh rupees would be the penalty if somebody who is dealing in manufacturing machine relating to tobacco packaging will be falling under that category. Now, having said that, what could have been done and has not been done is the set of questions. We were seriously waiting for this set of decisions basically, but they have not come. There is no GST tribunal effectively till now, 6.5 years past. You are getting an order from the DC appeal or commissioner appeal, you have to all the way go to the High Court. For 75,000, 1.5 lakh rupees also, they used to just, without courtesy and kind of care, they will be issuing the notice, you will be fighting it. If the commissioner appeal also is not able to give justice in favor of you, you have to all the way go to the High Court. Cost of the litigation is high. And rule makers know very well actually, lawmakers know very well. But we have to be waiting at least this time to get through. The process is quite slow. I think there can be some more care in this respect and could have been done something, but has not happened even now actually. A lot of piling up of cases are there. The time is given there. From the date of new president's appointment officially, within 90 days time, you can just go forward. All these cases filed in it. But when the president will come, when that 90 days will happen, when the hearing will be starting, approximately on the count it's about some 4,000 cases minimum in South Zone alone should have come by and large. So how many cases going to be heard, how many benches are going to be there, we don't know. Even now, that hasn't been addressed. Then what about the popular request relating to the real estate industry? Real estate industry is a very, what I can say, a unique industry. They will not follow any regular advice of a learned professional. They will follow with somebody who is there, who is walking along with him in a park, somebody who was just discussing a 5-member group, somebody who has passed on the message by WhatsApp, somebody who has just traveled along with him in a train in a midnight. They will be referring to him and following in their business. And they will say that this is what everybody is doing. Who is that everybody? Nobody is there. When 5 or 6 are joining together, they used to always refer that everybody is doing it. So this is a big problem with them actually. Now, the real questions what they have to ask, they failed on 15/11/2017 itself. Those who are there in this industry, without me explaining in detail, for the reasons you know very well, I have missed that at the time itself actually. Fine, okay, they missed it, fine, okay. They got something erroneously declared, fine. And government also just, okay, if you want, we will give it, they gave. And they are suffering for the past 5 years plus actually. Now at least, their request relating to this one. Somebody is selling a land in a joint venture, and it's not a pakka sales actually, it's a sharing of land and right to develop the building only. That is a decision in the Honorable Gujarat High Court in the case of Manish Munjalbhat case actually. It says that 11/2017 CPR is a notification which can be respected, fine, but the explanation 4 relating to chapter 9954 need not blindly be followed and forced, because it is the assessee to decide. The word used is shall, but the court is coming forward and saying that it is affecting seriously the kind of uniformity in taxation. Article 14 is to be considered seriously. So constitutionally we are striking down. So having said that, one, the government should have come forward to say that they are responding specifically regarding this and come out. As this being a matter of notification only, at least the CBSE at any time, not even for this one, should have come out. Or the law should be correcting it. My worry now is, if you are saying that, sir, let us follow Manish Munjalbhat. See, always when the High Court is saying about the constitutional validity, it's applicable for the entire country, for the reference purpose, no doubt about it. But suddenly, if a retrospective amendment is coming there, what to do? Because hitherto they have not positively said yes. Negatively they say retrospectively also later. We don't know. So there should be some full stop for this kind of matters which has been decided. The valuation relating to the long time, this TDR matter is pending there. They can very much frankly say that this is what we are intending. Because the same thing was there as an issue in respect of corporate guarantee. Huge amounts were involved there, and a lot of questions, troubles, everything was there. Only one single notification clearly saying that 1% is enough, personal guarantee is not taxable. All problems solved. The same kind of transparency and initiativeness is required there from the government side. If the state is coming out very well as to these things, it will be easy for the taxpayer to proceed further. The state involved is very high, but no response as to these matters actually. The same way, you are a recipient of service, your supplier has not filed his returns, so you should not take your ITC. This is what it says, it is said very well. You are also having concern that, fine, okay sir, what to do, my bad time, I have dealt with this guy. He gave me invoice, he gave me goods, I gave him the money, it went through proper bank channel, all were fine. If it is incidentally involving some 194Q matter also, it is complied with, fine, okay, whatever it is. But what more I should do? There are case laws in our own jurisdiction, High Court, Judicature of Madras also. In D.Y. Beetle case, it was held very clearly by the learned bench. It told very clearly that there is one supplier, Charles and his wife. Mr. Charles and wife were the suppliers. The learned officer from Tirunelveli STO is able to clearly go on record that the supplier, having collected the money, has not remitted the tax properly. Hence, we are trying to catch the hold of this D.Y. who is a very pathetic buyer. The court is coming down heavily and saying that, see, you know very well who is the supplier, who is erring. Why are you punishing somebody who is innocent? If you have all information, go after this supplier and catch hold of him. Try to see that you are able to collect the money, and you are all revenue collection force and the kind of big things what you are trying to do that work. All these adventures are supposed to be there with the supplier, not with the very innocent buyer. This is a decision which has been seconded by, in a different situation in another case also in Kerala High Court. There also in the same way they decided in the Gopalakrishnan case actually that you cannot disturb the person who is a recipient fairly, who is able to produce the records. Just to catch for a while, up to 2020 December, they were able to give kind of extended circulars that CS certificate or supplier's invoice can be there, but what after that? So they can just come out with clarity that what should be done in this respect. So it could have solved a lot of problems actually. Because there should be an end for it, or else they should come with a clarity that up to what period this kind of exoneration will be there, and beyond that, what strict activity is there. Not saying something is not good at all. The very learned finance minister was there actually. Very learned man. So when somebody went there and asked him a question, sir, you are a very learned person. He was the internal affairs minister at that time actually. As well, in Kashmir issue, one woman right is seriously talking only against India's sovereignty and integrity. but you are maintaining silence. What is your reply? Not replying is the reply. What do you understand from this? This is the biggest problem. If somebody who is in a position to say something is not saying something at all, then everything can be assumed. Say something. So our problem is either say yes, I am going to do this way only, or say that I am not going to do that. So one part you say yes, another part you keep it open. What you are going to say, we don't know. So waiting for something is very difficult actually, because you don't know what is going to happen. In a business, for a long time you cannot take risk actually. It is keeping on, the waiting time is keeping on increasing, and you don't know the decision what is going to be taken by them. For a long time if you are waiting it, in a business, liability is accumulating. Suddenly the notice is coming there, the assessee is coming there, sir, you are a chartered accountant, you are not able to give any kind of thing. What kind of things? What the government will think, how I will be able to decide in advance actually. So it is taking time for its own process actually. So if these things are there, the kind of uncertainty will not be there. Again, the last point is they are supposed to issue some kind of standard operating practice basis to their field formation. That is in respect of these items. See, one side state government notice is coming for 2018-19. Okay, you are attending it. For the same year, central team is issuing a notice. Again, this is also okay. Suddenly, another guy is also issuing a notice. You come to know that what is this? Now we are coming from DGG. Okay, there is a department DGG. Today, from today we have understood that there is a thing. Okay. Again, another notice is coming. I am coming from Survey Intelligence. And oh, there is another thing too. Fine, okay. And we are doing all these things. And one guy is issuing a notice. Sir, it is only your superintendent. No, he is superintendent for division. I am superintendent for range. Superintendent for range. No. I am the person who is taking care of it, but he is technical, I am the person who is at the division. Be anything, sir, but the same question. Let it be. You give reply to me also. And at the same time, give you on priority reply only to me, not to the paper. Sir, can you give it in writing? Ah, those things I cannot. These are all unwritten actually. You have to follow this. You have to respect me only. So the biggest problem here is they themselves are not clear that who is superior. Then there is a question of the assessee deciding that to whom it should be given. At the same point of time, if 3 or 4 are bouncing upon a same prey, how that will affect actually? What is going to be available at the end of the day? There should be a mechanism there, in a healthy manner, that too in the electronic era. If a person has initiated a notice, it should be there in a kind of a pop-up message for the another person who is trying to issue the notice on the same time. At the same time, there should be a pooled information which has been collected by one investigation agency in a common place where another person should be able to see that, okay, this is what is happening there, let me just collect what I need, or of course we will travel, other than this I will just pick it up. That's what you should do. The same question is asked left and right several times. This is happening there, troubled, because if one person is made to sit there, the same question is 7 times, 8 times asked there. What kind of response and comfort you will be having actually to give it to you? I am asking my learned friend, Mr. Arun sir, what's your name, sir? Arun sir. After a few minutes time, another person, sir, what's your name? Arun sir. Another person is coming, sir, what's your name? Arun sir. After 15 minutes time, another person is coming, what's your name? Arun sir, what do you want? This is what will happen. This is what, see, it is not that he is having some trouble to disclose his name. His name is Arun, he is very happy to say all the past 45, 50 years, fine. Sorry sir, the age is more than sir. So, I guess okay. So he was very happy to say this. But how many times you can ask him? It's a fact. But how many times I can say the fact to how many people actually? This is the only job for the businessman to do it. But there should be some mechanism to do it, but that is also not there. So in this situation only the kind of tax collection mechanism is not getting a good name in the public. It's not good. You have a very good law and a lot of flaws were there in the law. Law is involving some flaw always. It's always there. So you remove it and see that it is corrected. But this kind of mechanism, if you are having it, the state will fight against it, central will say central's DGG will be forcing you where survey will come in, the survey will be forcing against division will be against range. That is the end for this. In your entire fight, my shirt is torn.
Everyone is given collection target.
A target. That is, as my learned brother says, everybody has somebody like a marketing officer, you are having your own target actually. So if everybody is targeting, what to do? Turned only will be getting actually. Nothing more than that if you are having target actually. So that's a problem actually what they have. If you are having any questions to answer, which I just left out, I will be very happy to share. Now if you don't have any question at all, there can be two type of possibilities. One, sir, all you explained, there is nothing to question at all, it's nice. Another is also there. Nothing. So that is also possible. I'm just optimistic. All these days I have been so only. So I believe and presume on my own that whatever I have talked directly were able to be accepted by you when you have just approved it and understood that. So thanks a lot for your patience as well as your time. Thank you.
Question and answer.
Tea break.
கொஞ்சம் உள்ள வாங்க கொஞ்சம் உள்ள வாங்க முடிஞ்சிருச்சு செஷன்
As we informed, even our finance minister almost took 45 minutes to deliver his interior budget speech. Our speaker also almost matched with that 45 minutes. So before that, there are a few announcements relating to SARC programs in the coming month. The 9th, we have going to start our bank audit series with automation of concurrent audit and how to find frauds in machine learning environment. There are the learned speakers Anand Jangat and as well as from Shivagiri from Sivagasi. So both of them are well expert. Apart from this, one is from Cochin to have a detailed discussion on underwritings, how the loans are processed, what are all the things they are looking into processing the loan, those kind of things are 9th. So especially we insist on to automate the things. In the coming days, definitely we all feel the manpower shortage in our offices. So in order to cope up with that, we need to automate few services we provide to our clients like banks and other things. So especially that automation of concurrent audit definitely is helpful for us. So second program is on 20th and 21st. So on the last month we had national conference on direct taxes on case-based studies. Like that, on the impact of that program is well received by all the members. So that we want to have one more seminar on GST relating to, as Sir said, almost 21 lakh crore is disputed. It is all almost 50% is contributed by demonetization and 50% is contributed by our GST authorities. So nowadays, any office, any day, definitely in the morning, if anybody using any software, definitely so somewhere other some notices from GST department, state or central, especially the state department offices, without knowing law. So we are getting a lot of notices. So that we plan that. So the 4 speaker with the 3 hour session each. So 2 hours with the 4 practical case studies. So in SARC we want to have all, instead of having continuous section based explanation and other things, we want to have a case based studies. So practical case studies, whether they are already practiced in or kind of things. So 2 hours for case study discussion and 1 hour for the discussion among the members with the speakers. Such a way that we have a 4 session. So one is Prasanna Krishnan sir is one among the speaker, and Ganesh Prabhu, Shankar Narayanan, and one is Srinivasan. The 4 person are going to handle those classes. Everything is relating to litigation. It is for the 2 days, 21st is both is relating to only the litigation, how to reply the notice, what are all the solutions we have, what is the some issues we don't have a solution also, that kind of things. Even the act also is not provided a solution for that. So those kind of discussion is going to be we have on 20th. So this, so already I informed another 2-3 initiatives from SARC is in our SARC website we are going to enable member services. In that we are going to enable blood donation thing and tools. to automate your office. Since many youngsters are creating some tools for their own offices, somebody wants to share with other members, so those people can upload those tools in that website. It can be useful for all offices. Same way, the networking, especially this networking concept, simply created only to facilitate you. Since we don't know where our GST officer catch hold our vehicle, in which corner of our South India, so it is not possible for each and every one of you to reach that place and represent our client there. So in order to facilitate you, so SARC want to have some common platform. At least you can search based on your PIN code number. So you can find some chartered accountant, those who are handle those kind of cases in that places. Definitely it will help you to reach the people quickly, and how quickly you are reaching the people, and that officer of toll gate definitely client also get a quick relief, so that we enable you to reach that people, we enable that also. So for flexi working hour for woman empowerment thing, we are going to enable it, because it may be enabled in the January itself. Actually we planned for last 2-3 months, as Sir said. Software, we tried with the software people on many things. So definitely before this month end we are going to enable it. The flexi hours is for sometimes the women need to take a break in their practice, in order to facilitate them to work from the home. Somebody may some drafting activity, or some of the activity may be helpful. They are able to do it from the work from home kind of environment. So that if somebody is want to give, so they can register in it. The same way those who are willing to do that kind of work, so they are also may be registered in that network. So these kind of things are through SARC we are taking those initiatives. With this we have a tea break. If people all willing, we have a question and answer session at least for another half an hour time after the tea break. Thank you.
Affecting them. I think I find so long as it is not, as from your understanding, it is not a significant margin. I don't think the law, if the Supreme Court laid down law is correctly followed, there should not be a charge.
And I am out income tax. So my client received notice. My client has swiped a credit card for their friends. It exceeded the client's annual income. So he got a notice from income tax. What is it?
Suspend that. So long as you are able to have a back-to-back reasoning for the same. So in any case you have to respond. No? Explain the facts, explain with the documentation and proof, and should get settled.
It's the simple for rotation purposes. They just swipe in one credit card. They just swipe in one credit card and pay the other credit cards. Some people who are in debt. So it comes to like 20 crores transactions in the credit card itself. And SFT it is getting highlighted, and notices are being rolled out in future.
See, the first point we should really highlight the client, what are the transactions getting reported. I'll just give you a very peculiar case where they book the sales based on it's a chain of hotels. Their income is accounted as and when they raise the invoice. Most of the sales are happening through Zomato Swiggy. In A's, Zomato also reported a big amount. You don't know the accountant what he has done is he has included that also in the income, so that to match with that and shown the entire amount. I don't want to give the numbers. You are talking about this number is very, very less. Yeah. The same amount is shown as an expenditure. So he says something is there in A's, I matched and I shown the expense. So whether it has already been accounted, the answer is yes. They have also accounted the invoice as on a daily basis. So therefore, I think there is a very, very important for us to educate and tell him, boss, if you are not going to do that, you have to face the problem. We can't do anything. Everything is faceless. That's why I said in today's session, the faceless transfer pricing and faceless ITAC deferred by 1 year. So I think faceless also, when they announce a scheme, it's very important. Those schemes are meant only for, see, there's no point in wasting time of everyone if it's a clearly covered case. There they can dispose it of. But otherwise it needs an argument. Even after that we find. Take the case of this charitable trust I was mentioning. So many cases were there, so many well-established principles. Merely because, see, for this program institute charging some amount does not mean institute is going to make a profit out of those or thing. No, it's not there. And the courts have consistently held if this amount is going to be used for the purposes of overall education purpose, that should be considered. Now you rewrite everything completely and then come back and say that everything will be business, and consequences are so huge. One is about the maximum marginal rate, so many things. Separate books of accounts are to be maintained if it's a business. It's a very, very complicated interpretation, and very, very unfortunate that while penning the judgment they have to be careful what kind of damage we are doing to the society in large. I think we need to alert it, we have to live with it, and we have to educate them, otherwise we have to tell them we have to face the consequences of it. We don't have an answer. This is not a legal issue, right?
The section 43B and payment to MSME within the. So this is regarding section 43B disallowance. It says payment to MSME vendors seeking and disallowance consequences. The query is traders. Whether traders also covered in that disallowance or is only manufacturing?
See, I don't think the section is trying to restrict it to the manufacturer. It's an amount due to MSME. So therefore, anything it's going to be covered there. So I don't think it's an exception. The only question is how we are going to report this in the tax audit. Other things is what is an important challenge for us.
Correct.
Or regard from the businessman perspective.
Yes.
That could be a challenge for us. I don't think there is a distinction that must be manufactured.
Sir, morning. My name is C. Ramesh Angan. I have a question in the GST. Sir, for financial year 2017, 18, 18, 19, in non-fraud cases, there are show cause notice being issued, and there's show cause notice and demand notice being issued. Yeah, there has been a repeated change in the due dates being extended by the GST department. Whether the law of limitation being attracted and whether the notice has having a legal validity. The first question is that, sir. And second question is, many officers know they issue a physical notice which is not reflecting in the portal. So they ask us to pay that. When we represent the client, they are being because of which we are not able to issue the online notice. So you would pay and file the DRC 03 as a voluntary payment or as a result of show cause notice. And also they are also suggesting us only to pay through cash ledger and not through the ITC ledger. So they are kind of threatening. So how to handle about this?
Generally, if one or two types of exceptional issues if we see, we will be shocked. As we are used to see this kind of matters every day. I am not, it is something like to say I am just supposed to lend the help only from the local language and vernacular language. See, the man who is burying regularly in a burial yard will not be giving too much respect to the sentiments of the relatives of the expired person. He will say that, okay, his job is regular actually. So, though very seriously my learned friend is just putting this issue to my, I am not having any sentiment because regularly I am seeing, I am not having any problem at all. Coming to the technical and straight response to these questions. The first question was, so left and right they are keeping on increasing the due date to issue the notices to the concerned assessee. And don't they have any kind of impact of the Limitation Act at all? And what kind of interplay is there between the tax law and the Limitation Act? So Limitation Act is certainly there and it is having its own say definitely. But when a specific law is there as to the limitation, it is taking care of it. There is one section 148 in this law itself which is allowing a kind of removal of kind of difficulties actually. But always I used to say, removal of difficulty to whom? Whose difficulty? Officer's difficulty. He is little lazy, he is not able to issue and complete his work in time. So to remove the difficulty of officer, there is one section 148 and law is saying that, okay, I remove your difficulty, another 3 months also you work and you issue the notice. So it's not the situation. So the extended times are keeping on going, and of course more or less it has come to a finality. That's what sometime back for a different question in a different context I told the same message that as far as 2017-18 is concerned, 30th September 2023, non-fraud case notices are already done actually. Hereafter if you are releasing notice, the officer has to prove that there is a serious case of culpable state of mind in your part and he is issuing the notice. And no access reas is going to help you. Mens rea is there, they have to prove it and then they can issue. 18-19 also, as I told sometime back told you, time is over, they have to adjudicate the matter. 30 April 2024 is the time for them to adjudicate, that is there. But Limitation Act takes a back seat when the specific provision is there. Generally a specialist place, that's all. So when you are having the specific provision, general provision will be going back actually. That's the response for your first question. The second question is, the notices are not uploaded online. They are issued in paper copy or even by mail actually, registered by. Can I have a defense against this or not is the first part of the second question actually. See, first of all, Rule 142, Rule 169, if you go through, you will be able to get a very convincing reply for this. Sir, any communication can be issued, item number 4, that is 169.24, subclass 4, will be saying that a notice and a letter or a communication or that will be coming there by a registered post, by an email, that will come there. I agree, it's there. But please remember, if you go to 142, 160, it will be specifically saying that any demand order relating to revenue or demand, both sides, and again it will be coming there. That means that whatever communication of general nature can be issued by registered post or email also. Whereas under 142, if you are going to, specifically it will talking about demand related notice or communication supposed to be communicated only by uploading in the portal. It will be saying that. So now again the same issue. When something is specifically told, general will not be and need not be and should not be followed. That's all the simple thing. See, you can always ask of academic interest, that's all. What kind of other communication? So many communications are there. Information seeking letter will be there, registration letter related matter will be there, EW related matter will be there, or any kind of questions related to another person's data, you need to give me, come to me, can be there. Other person has not paid his data I am attaching, you pay me. That can be a communication letter or anything. Anything can be there, but the matter relating to assessment and demand, if the notice is issued there, it's saying about upload. There are already decided two cases in this in favor of assessing, saying that if it is not uploaded, we cannot treat that as an eligible item at all, or a right valid notice at all is there actually. So the matter is a clear question of involving question of law, already decided in favor of assessors actually. You can fight it, but I can give you, though I said, I can give you assurance that in a lower level you will not be able to get justice. You will not be, because we have always seen, we are already gone for appeal and we are very quite strong in that part. But you can, the lower level you cannot impress an officer that sir you should upload the data. Then he will simply say, "Adi எனக்கு பண்ண தெரியாது sir, நம்மகிட்ட ஆள் இல்ல sir." So this official reply. Official reply is, "ஏன் sir upload பண்ணல?" அப்படினா upload பண்ணனா அது நமக்கு பண்ண தெரியாது sir, அவ்வளவு ட்ரெய்னிங் இல்ல நமக்கு, ஆள் இல்ல நம்மகிட்ட. Is this a reply? He will say, and he will say that உங்களால முடியாத டிபெண்ட் பண்ணிக்கோங்க sir. What do you want to do? You do. That's all. So that is reply for part 1 of your second question. Part 2 of your second question was, if I am to pay, whether I agree happily or unhappily is different one, I have to pay, fine, okay. Even then they force me to say that I am supposed to use only my cash ledger only, e-cash ledger only. ECRL I should not use, ECL only I should use. They are forcing me. They got no right to do that. You can always, in this kind of situation and all, do only one thing. Sir, please give instruction in writing, sir, I will follow. Simple. Sir, will they write? Sir, அவர் ஒழுங்காக ஆர்டரே எழுத தெரியாது, இந்த மாதிரி ஏடா ஓடுமான த்ரெட்டிங் மேட்டர்லாம் எழுத தெரியாது சார், பிலீவ் சார். இல்லை சார், தே ஆர் ஃபோர்ஸிங் ஒன்லி ஓரலி அண்ட் நாட் ரைட்டிங் அட் ஆல் வாட் டு டூ. ரைட் a letter to him in the following manner. You advise me orally that I have to pay only by e-cash ledger, though I accept happily or unhappily, whatever it is. If I requested you to give it in writing the advice, as I have not received it, this letter I am sending you by registered post. Just to say in the letter in the beneath of the lower part of the CC, Commissioner. So, sir, should I send to the Commissioner? Don't send. It's a waste of time and money. Don't send. But just mark CC. You will get a call or a jeep itself will come to your place. The officer, the learned officer, assistant commissioner or deputy commissioner or even the joint commissioner or additional commissioner will come to you. Sir, yes sir, this is CC put here. I'm going to take it now. Sir, yes sir, this is what உங்களுக்கு எனக்கு என்ன சார் பிரச்சனை ஓடுன கட்டி சொல்லுங்க சார் கிரெடிட் லெட்ஜர் ஈ வில் கம் அண்ட் அதிகம் வரல தான் சொல்லுவோம் அது வேற விஷயம் ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் சிம்பிள் வே டு ஹேண்டில் அண்ட் யூ சே தட் எனக்கு ஒன்றும் இல்லை சார் உங்களுக்கு எனக்கு என்ன சார் வரப்பு வாய்க்கா வர பிரச்சனையா சார் ஐ டோன்ட் ஹேவ் எனி ப்ராப்ளம் வித் யூ பட் யூ ஃபோர்ஸ் மீ தட்ஸ் ஐ வாஸ் ஃபோர்ஸ் டு டூ திஸ் இஃப் யூ அட்வைஸ் மீ ஐ வில் கோ பை கிரெடிட் லெட்ஜர் தட்ஸ் ஓகே ஸோ சால்வ் த ப்ராப்ளம் ஈஸிலி அண்ட் கோ நாட் அ ப்ராப்ளம்
System in ECR 3, in ECR 3, the system allows only cash.
Okay.
It is not accepting in credit.
Okay.
We cannot make payment by credit.
No.
Okay.
See, you are my learned sister is referring to DRC03 actually.
Yes.
Madam, DRC03, flesh and blood. I am sitting in front of you. Not less than 200 DRC03 I have filed using the IDC actually. You can believe. You can do. Don't worry about it. See, if they are preventing it, it's only a option disabled by them. So the method what I told you to follow, you will be able to do it. DRC03 permits. Hundreds and hundreds of DRC I have done actually. Personally I have done.
Actually, I also done, sir.
Okay.
But it is not accepting.
That's what my brother is asking actually. Sir, Nama Pandran, sir, they are not accepting.
No,
What to
sir,
do?
system is itself not accepting.
They are disabled, madam, in the lower level actually. It's not done by the system actually. If they, you know, you will see a lot of. I am anticipating the question in fact actually. Sir, I am getting a notice. The notice by default is reading that whether personal hearing is opted no. On its own it is speaking. I have not taken it. This question I anticipated, but out of curiosity I told actually. Sir, you can very simply do. There is one mail box actually. That is your text box is there in the very reply columns. You write that the box is wrongly by default selecting no. I would like to be heard in person. Kindly just render justice. You write. This I have several times done, and more or less wherever I have written, they have stopped the practice of this default ticking actually, wherever it is. So you can do this. There are hurdles. There's always. But my humble request is only the learned CS like you, when they are coming into the fray, the game will be meaningful. Otherwise, it will not. If you are staying out of this matter altogether, then slowly what has happened there in the past, the S2L VAT, S2L exchange will only be the one what will be happening in this case also. So if you are just shunning these areas that are income tax companies like sir, if you leave it, then unqualified people are coming there and the retired brokers are coming there or retired employees are of the same department coming there and filling up the gaps. They are just filling up the gaps. As the gap is left out unnecessarily by professionals, wrong people are coming there and filling up. Your knowledge, your skill, your representation skill, your kind of finance and law analysis skill is not there with others. If you are missing it, others are coming and wrongly filling up. So what I would like to suggest. So if you are having an inborn skill, you are brought up so in your training system, you are brought up so in your education system and exam system that you fight against and try to see that honestly you are just presenting your views properly. No other profession is there of that kind. With pride I can say. Only when you stay out, naturally you are just taking a back seat unnecessarily. Thank you.
Please collecting membership fee for conducting one event, sir. So can they, in the hotel they are conducting, can they get the credit of that foods and hotel bills, sir?
Fine. See, the question is, somebody is a commercial concern having some business, trading or manufacturing. They have gone to a hotel to book it for a while, maybe a banquet booking. The banquet booking is involving food, by and large predominantly, and also the kind of hall rent actually. The question is, can I take the credit of this? Because it was used for my business. See, when it is not explicitly focusing on the food alone, if it is food alone, nothing can be done. Very clear. If it is not focusing on the food alone and it talks on the basis of tax, per tax 600 rupees, per tax 300 rupees, perfectly it is fine. Please ensure that what is the code mentioned in the so-called hotel's bill. If it is reading 9963, it is accommodation related services, gone. See, it happens actually. When they are reading the bill, you are not able to see that, what code they are mentioning. He clearly says that as a hotelier only, food only I gave. Incidentally, I gave the wrong. So the crime service itself, he is committing. Very clearly from the opposite side, he is putting in the same side goal to you. So instruct your hotel properly that I am taking you as a person who is giving me the hall. The hall service is predominant. Incidentally, you are giving the service of food. That's what I am believing. Give me the bill that way. Then it's fine. If you are making the hotelier to clearly give a bill of hotel bill only with a chapter 9963, there is no point in fighting against this because you and he have confirmed bilaterally that it is a hotel service which you have consumed. The food service what you have consumed is for the personal benefit of the concerned person, though it is official meeting. You will not be able to do it. So the differentiation is only on this point. Otherwise, it's not falling under the section 17's prevented credits at all. You don't know what to do. Yes.
Sir, good afternoon. This question is on GST applicability on NGOs.
Fine, sir.
The client is a Section 8 company.
Okay.
They are registered under 80G and 12A.
Well.
And they are claiming income tax exemption also
Well.
for the past, before 2017 also.
Well.
So after 2017, they had to register for GST.
Fine.
They are carrying out the general public utility, advancement of general public utility. They are carrying out research for AIDS prevention and control.
Fine.
So they are getting funding from national government organization, NGOs, like NACO and other AIDS control organizations.
Okay. NACO fine. What are others, sir? Just briefly.
They are also getting private funding.
Private funding. That's what I want to know. Okay.
Should they collect, because they are not directly into the section advanced public.
No.
So income tax they are claiming exemption, but I also did go through the facts on GST for NGOs Prime State. There is no direct answer to this question.
No.
I just wanted to get a clarity on that.
Right.
Thank you.
The first point to be appreciated is blindly believing that if you are an NGO or non-profit organization, NPO, you will not be troubled by GST provision at all. It's not fair at all. Being a learned CA, you may not kindly advise your client that you are after all a trust, what is your problem, sir? You are after all a non-profit organization, you are after all a charitable organization or public utility related matter you are doing it. Why you are? Please don't say that. Please go by the facts of the case, how you earn the revenue. It is only a transaction tax actually, not a person-wise tax actually. So first point. Second point to the given facts of the matter. See, that is rendering some kind of disease, a particular disease focused eradication program or control program or awareness program or whatever it is conducted. For that there are national level organizations, both government as well as non-government, who are funding it. The word funding need to be just trimmed to see that it is giving a clear meaning of whether it is a part subsidy given by somebody. This is a matter. Grant is the general word they are using. But what we have to understand is it a subsidy? What is the difference between a grant and subsidy? A grant is given there to sponsor or support an event without expecting any kind of commercial return for it. This is what general meaning of it. A grant is a different way of giving donation. That's all the thing. Donation is given there without telling what kind of benefit you are going to. You have to tell that how much money you have utilized for this purpose and you have to give your utilization certificate if anything. The problem where it happens there is there are kind of research-based IPR returned to the person who is giving the money. That is where the problem comes in. Because you do a work, the work's result is given there back to the person who is the donor. Donee is working, giving the result to the donor. Then now it is a very clear supply and demand actually. You work for somebody, he demonstrates how you have to work, and on the basis of his instruction you work, you get a deliverable, you just return to him because he is a deserving person, you return to him. It's a very, very clear case of supply. There you are becoming liable for that one. So differentiate on the basis of case-to-case based study. Let us not generalize at all. You clearly question, as I was asking you, sir, NACO is fine, sir, is there any other person? If is there any other person, what kind of money is giving? Is it only a blind funding as a donation without being worried about, which is not generally happening? Or any specific direction? So you will be saying geographically south zone of this area you pick it up, this kind of sector you check it up, this kind of people you go for a survey, this kind of result you collect it, what is the study and result you give me? He will say. You will do and give it to you. That's where the problem. That is not falling under the category of donation at all. He is directing you to do a service claim and you deliver it. Exactly, sir. Exactly. That's
the question comes from supply or
that's
if the NGO does directly to the public without any deliverables, then that will be coming under.
Exactly, sir. Exactly, sir. That's the point. So you will be able to easily differentiate between a general donation used for a general purpose for which it is established and running, and a specific work given to him with a deliverable which is very property of the donor only. Then it will be very clear. You can differentiate.
for
Yes.
other private funding.
It will be liable, sir. It will be liable.
Though they are not giving it with GST, the entire grant will be on inclusive basis.
Of course. You can go for a come tax working, sir. That's all the maximum benefit you can get it actually. When the money is not collectible, tax money is not collectible, then you need to work out a come tax working as permitted by section 35 and you can go for it. Not a problem.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sir, question is on registrations. A restaurant in Chennai got a food order
Okay.
from a firm in Coimbatore
Okay.
to deliver the food products in to the outside state,
Okay.
like the Nellore, the Andhra Pradesh.
Right.
So the restaurant in Chennai has delivered the food in the Nellore, and they got instructions from the department that they can't supply outside the state unless they have a registration in other state.
Okay.
So, but actually he is not the person who is going to bill to the company in Nellore, because it's the order from Coimbatore.
Okay.
So the restaurant is going to bill to the Coimbatore person with the local tax, intra tax.
Okay.
But whether this supply, that means they can deliver the goods outside the Tamil Nadu without having any registration outside Tamil Nadu.
Okay.
So this is it.
See, hope you could have got the question for easy understanding of this repeat. Coimbatore hotel is ordering to Chennai hotel. Goods are delivered to Nellore, Andhra Pradesh. That's a brief what he has told of the facts. In the entire story, the supplier Chennai hotel is raising bill on Coimbatore, but delivery goes to Nellore. Is what he says actually. The short point what we need to understand in this matter is place of supply is decided in case of services differently, in case of goods differently. As far as services are concerned, it is going on the basis of recipient. Even if you are going by the recipient theory in this given matter, the food is delivered to Andhra Pradesh, it is becoming an IGST transaction in the given case. It's not about the goods, because restaurant is not selling the food actually. Restaurant is serving the food or giving the food as guest. So in the given case, it is serving actually. It's a service of giving the food actually. And because they will go there and deliver the food, and I think they may be even serving also. I am not sure about what is it, whatever it is. This is a service by and large. So if that is the case, the goods are going out on recipient basis, it will become IGST. A person who is in one state can definitely do the service in another state, nobody stops. If you are chartered accountant in Tamil Nadu, can give a certificate to a person who is there in Nellore for some matter actually, because it's service, nothing more than that actually. So it is not decided on the basis of where you are registered. If you are a Tamil Nadu registered chartered accountant, why are you doing service in Nellore related chartered accountancy? Don't do the audit in Nellore and give a bank auditor. It cannot be said actually. It can't be that. If that is the case, everywhere you have to do your registration wherever and whenever you are getting your other state. That's not the case actually. The problem where it comes is your vehicle is crossing, the so-called goods carrying vehicle is crossing a particular place actually. Let me say in Nagari it is crossing there, in Balayar it is crossing there. The guy who is stopping the vehicle as interceptor from the government side wants to understand that what kind of transaction is happening there. He is asking a question that, okay, you are a Chennai registered person, but why your vehicle is not going to Coimbatore? Sir, he is billed there. So go there. But he is not the person who is going to get this goods. Sir, actually I am going there to Nellore. Why you are going to Nellore? Because instruction is so. He just said that stay, make the vehicle to stay here. Let me just explain. Let me just understand from your explanation what is that. You have to explain to you, which is very difficult, I understand. Yes, only to certain category of human being you can explain certain things. So they are a special species. When the God is designing the human being, there is a separate set. A kind of person who will never understand anything what the other person says and always be refuting it. You go to a kind of this kind of person and saying that, sir, there is one notification, sir, please understand. No. Sir, even your department gave a surplus. No. Sir, your own commissioner given a trade notice. No. Sir, you are an intelligent officer. No. Without understanding what you are talking, you will say only no. So that is the kind of person actually. In your case, if you have explained, you have to explain what you have to explain to them and say that, sir, I have charged IGST. I am a registered person to an unregistered person. If I am going there, I have to pay this amount. But only for a registered person I am doing it. This person cannot take credit of this also because I am giving an IGST invoice. That is their problem. That is okay. But your government is not losing any revenue at all. I am properly charging. There is a proper e-way bill for carrying the goods. I am rendering a service. Goods are incidental to my service. I am a hotelier rendering my service. That's all. If you treat me as a food seller, I have to fall under Chapter 22 and I have to levy the tax for ready-to-eat food. That is not my problem actually.
If I am delivering to Anna Nagar, you will question me, you will not question me. If I am delivering to Nellore, if you question me, what is the use? If I am delivering at Anna Nagar, then it's fine. CGST, SGST. If I am delivering at Nellore, it is IGST. It's clear. That to that extent is clear. But there is no point in that. Now, how you can use a Tamil Nadu number and give you a IGST number? Now the goods are moving out what I do. That's what I am doing. Nothing more than that. Slight complicated matter. Normal person can understand. They are abnormal actually. It will take little time. I agree actually. Thank you.
Good morning, sir. This is regarding GST filing.
Yes.
A businessman has missed the invoice, sir. But
Sales invoice or purchase?
Sales invoice in register one. But they had sufficient ITC during that month.
Okay.
Next month he identified it and discharged the ITC through ITC.
There is a demand of interest now.
Yeah, interest.
This is a very regular problem. The soft logic what you need to understand, about 9 cases were settled there. 4 from High Court level and in different level also it has come there already. In AR also they have given some opinions also. That of course AR only for reference purpose, not decided. Short point is, when you have sufficient balance in your e-credit ledger to meet your liability, then section 50 will not work at all. Very simple. Nothing more than to understand. Sir, I am having a credit balance of, let me say, 50 lakh rupees. Whereas my missed invoice is for causing me liability of 40 lakh rupees. Perfectly fine. Your liability was well covered by your eligible ITC, which is recorded already in your e-credit ledger. Only the time of clicking is different. That is not causing you any interest at all. Generally, lower level officer will take little time to understand. Not a problem at all.
Given order.
You can definitely go on appeal. You can definitely go on appeal. It will be a very easy case for you to win actually. Section 50 is not able to generate any interest revenue on this kind of matters at all. It's very clear. Time and date has been poured actually. So you can take that as a very easy case for you. And fortunately, this being a demand of interest, even in appeal level, you need not make any pre-deposit. There is no pre-deposit at all for an interest related query. If the disputed amount is interest, 0 is the pre-deposit. You will be able to file your APL one comfortably, you can go ahead with that one. You need not deposit anything.
Sir, but what happens in the case of the ITC slabs, I mean, it depends, more than 13 months on the August 31st period as expired. Then only the client realized that he has missed one of the bills.
Okay.
And he is ready to, I mean, had he had filed in the correct month, he would not have paid any tax because he has got sufficient ITC. It just lapsed now.
Okay.
So what is the state of affairs? Whether he could claim that ITC credit or ITC credit which has lapsed, which lapsed?
Okay. You are talking about the period of, let me take for easy example, 2023-24 was the period, sir.
No, notices were coming for 17-18.
Oh, that one is for 17-18. Okay.
People were not very clear as to what has to be done.
Okay. See, the question from my learned brother is, sir, in 2017-18, I had my business, I got my reporting completed. Of course, I had ITC, that is different one. But all these days passed and 17-18 related query, the very brilliant officer is able to raise only recently by August 2023 or September 2023. And now I realize that what he is asking is correct and I have missed to pay that liability. Now I am about to pay my liability. As you say, in 17-18, if I had ITC, and if the ITC is there to support me at that time, if I found out, I would have paid it. I did not see, I did not use. Now the problem here is, at present I am not having ITC because I exhausted due to some reasons or something like that, or I did not take the ITC for ITC. Missed it. What should I do? Sir, ITC is something like a flowing river. From Talakaveri of Karnataka to very end of Tamil Nadu, if it is keeping on flowing, a mug of water what you are taking in Talakaveri, you can all the time come here all the way to here in that, and I just pour inside or take inside. It's only one river, Kaveri. The moment it crosses Palar of Vellore and it becomes a very dry river, again you cannot say that that is a continuation of here, it's gone. So ITC is a flowing river. As long as the balance is continuously maintained in 17, 18, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 22, 23, 23, 24, today also, you can always still, as my learned sister was claiming, say that my credit is there flowing from 17, 18 till date, you are not a loser, I won't pay interest. If you want, I will reverse the credit alone, you can say. But if there is a stoppage, there is a rough patch where you have lost your ITC positive balances and it has become negative sometime back itself, then You are not having a strong argument in your hand to say that my ITC is supporting me. You cannot claim. And so during the period that has come down and you have to pay it. There are some cases where we have won that till the period up to which it was having ITC, I will not pay interest. The moment it comes down, I will pay. Some central excess cases of old time we referred and we were able to pay. That we can do. But if you don't have ITC balance, it is proved that in 17-18 you have a liability of shortage. That shortage will definitely suffer the interest, you cannot escape out of it. The ITC last is last because the period claim the ITC is already over. In case of 17-18, the relevant period of October 2018 return is over actually. September time it's over. 20 October 2018 was the last date for that one. 31/3/2019 extended time over. So now you cannot claim any missed ITC. But any liability you need to pay. That is always be there. That's all.
Good afternoon, sir. Doubt is on ITC or GST.
Sir.
In case of Trade Merchant Association, they are listed as a society under society. And they have 12-year registration under income tax long.
Right.
Their source of income is rent from commercial property and FD investment.
Right.
So majority of the source of income they spend on conducting these meetings, AGM. They have 300 members.
Okay.
And printing of annual reports, calendar, and distributing numbers. So all these are majority of this. So whether GST on ITC on GST and all these expenses can be considered as furtherance of objects of the society and can be claimed.
Okay.
Or what can be?
Right. See, the question is quite clear and simple. Sir, my revenue is from letting out my property. So I am a person who is earning from renting of immovable property. My revenue is this. I am paying GST if any on that because it's commercial purpose utilization. Right. To the government, in the eyes of government, I am a person who is the owner of a building. I pay GST for it. But the fact is, using that entire money mostly as a society registered under this relevant act, I am doing a kind of trade merchant related advancement of their interest, their trade, the kind of association related matters I am doing. This is what I am doing it. When I am doing this kind of seminars, get together, whatever it is, I do have a lot of related establishment or a kind of event arrangement expenses for which the suppliers are charging me a lot of GST. Can I take ITC suppose? See how it is supposed to be related is certainly eligible ITC is not decided on the basis of case to case. 1-to-1 is not the case at all. You do outward service, you do get inward service supplies, you just generally match it. The problem comes only on 3 counts. Exclusively relating to exempted transaction or nil rated transaction is the one category. Under this category, whatever inward supply you are getting it will not fetch you even 1 paise of ITC also. Exclusively relating to taxable items, don't worry about it, entirely you are eligible to enjoy it. Whatever ITC relating to outward. There is one grey area, neither this nor that common. For this also, for that also. For taxable also, for exempted also. That is where Rule 42 is coming to play. Now, coming to the facts of the question. Here a situation is, whatever relating to rented immovable property, if a broker is there who comes and supports you for getting a tenant, or kind of rent related matter you are doing, all these things are all will be eligible credit, not a problem. If you print pamphlet, if you print meeting notices, if you print some kind of material and food arrangement for somebody, these are all the things done there, but you don't pay any tax for these items because you don't collect directly any amount for these activities. You have to, in a very different way, find out a fulcrum that my rental income is directly connected with my meeting. That's what you have to do. My gathering, my kind of outreach. It's very difficult in practice. How you are linking the rent related matter to this one. Prima facie reply is, your input relating to your meeting is not gaining you any direct income. Actually, what is related to that? So now I have a doubt. You are slightly contradicting. Your first statement you clearly made that ITC need not be seen on 1-to-1 basis. But when you are mostly coming to the advising stage, you are saying that as it is not related to this one, please remember the mid part also. As I said, general law is 1-to-1 ITC need not be compared at all. But the very strong theory is to the point is exclusively related to exempted output, that inward is not eligible to you as credit at all. Exclusively relating to taxable, that entire amount is eligible for. So in the given case, exclusively relating to nil rated or unpaid case only you are listing out. The meeting related pamphlet, meeting arrangement, banquet hall, food arrangement, whatever, something like that. So those things are not falling under this category. If hypothetically, for those membership for some reason, leaving the mutuality concept itself, you are charging GST for those meetings and all. Say for example, our institute is charging GST for our meetings and all, unless it is relating to a exclusive category of certain things. For any meeting, if it is charged there, then the institute can say that for any kind of input supplies relating to this meeting, the institute can take credit. They can easily identify and say that this is relating to a taxable item. Incidentally, a general meeting is there, you are not charging at all. It's a nil meeting. Then institute will not be able to take credit, even if it is spending the so-called incurred service related credit. That's the difference. So, reply to you will be relating to rent, you pay GST, you can definitely do it. Relating to meeting, you spend money and spend GST, those will not be directly eligible. To make it eligible, you have to take a lot of pain, which is unprecedented, to see that my entire rent is only spent for this purpose. Why should not I do this one? You can make it query, but it is a very tough job, involving a legal process to go. Now, no precedence, 100% I can give you guarantee. This kind of case is not there in the past, in this law and in the past service tax law also.
Sir, this question is related to income tax. What?
Hello.
Yes, please.
Sir, my question is related to VAT and CST.
Yes.
One of my clients has got notices and TRC 03 also for non-furnishing of C forms for 2014-15, 15-16 and 17-18, whatever 3 months was there.
Right, okay.
So, is it legally valid, these notices, or is it coming under that 74 what you mentioned?
No. See, first part is the concessional forms not produced properly in time is a very matter of that particular law. Assessment should have been completed in that law. Simple, nothing more than that. No, sir, there is a provision in section 140 of this current law, CGST law, read together with SGST, which says that all the liabilities of the past law that used the word existing law at the time. That means that today it is possible. Will be the liability for this law also for the purpose. See, please understand, the liability of the past, what has been determined, can be collected in the revenue collection process of this law, and it can be enforced by the GST officer, though he may not be claiming himself as a commercial tax officer. That is the purpose for which it was put. Assessment and assessment related matter and the SQL law should happen there in the SQL mode only. There is no name Form C at all in this law at all. This law doesn't know what is Form C. There is no process of Form C related matter, anything at all. Assessment formally is supposed to be completed under that law. Enforcing the liability and revenue collection may happen there under this law. That's all the provisions are. The officer is erring to treat that as assessment under this law at all. He is not supposed to do this. He can take the complete assessment process completed there. Revenue collection, he can try to do it if you have not gone on a strong appeal to prevent him from the collection process. That's all. So there is basically something is wrong. Design is wrong. Okay. So something is wrong in that. So okay. Right. Please.
Sir, I have a query in section 65 audit of CPE SURESH.
Yes.
My client was elected for audit for 5 years, including the 17 meeting. But my bad reading of the section says that the audit should end with section 73 or 74 notice. Show cause notice. So I was questioned, how can you issue notice for audit for 17 meetings because the time limitation period is over. But my client said, I don't want to fight with the department. You produce the books, so whatever comes we'll see. Now I got a call from audit department saying that they want to extend it for the another more year for 22-23 also. Just like on a word of mouth. So how can they extend, sir? Is there any right for, do they have any rights to extend the audit just like that? They are not giving any proper notice or any mail, just by word of mouth.
Okay, fine. Right. See, first part is 17-18 is time barred. How the audit party is able to cover is the question. Actually, how it is time barred, let us just understand. As I already told you, at the cost of repetition, non-fraud case related process has got time barred by 30th September 2020. A fraud case can certainly be opened by anybody. Anybody in the sense any GST officer for this purpose actually. No sir, I am specifically asking about audit. Whether the jurisdiction officer can open is one question. Whether audit officer can open is another question. My question is about the audit under section 65. This guy is not even coming with a section 67 authorization. He comes and says that I am an audit party, open that and give all the books to me. Sometimes he is sending mails, sometimes he is calling over phone, something is happening. Is it okay? See, audit party have got right to go through the books. 7.5 years, actually that real 7.5 is this actually. So, for literally 7.5 years time, if you count it, how it will be working out, you know. The related year's time for filing annual return. From there 6 years, you have to maintain your books and furnish for the purpose of section 60 and 35. This is what it is going on. So, rules 80 read together with 35 if you are going to, what will be the real meaning is, one year, அதுக்கு ரிலேட்டட் ஆனுவல் ரிட்டர்ன் ஒரு another ஒரு 6 மாசத்துல குறைஞ்சது ஒரு half year தாண்டி போகும். அப்போ தான் ஆனுவல் ரிட்டர்ன் வரும். இப்போலாம் 9 months ஆகிடுச்சு. 6 years time. So 6 plus 1 plus half 7.5. 7 வருஷம். இந்த 7 நம்ம விடாத வரைக்கும் government can ask that I need the book to be verified. சார் அது கூட பரவாயில்ல சார் ஒத்துக்கிறேன். How they are deciding that I'm a fraud case? நீங்க தானே இப்போ சொன்னீங்க non-fraud case can be ending up with 39/2023. On what belief? They are asking me that I am to produce 17-18 also. How they are going to claim? See, for audit purpose, information seeking letter they can always give. That is given, the power is given that they need not accuse you anything at all. I want to see the record. Merely seeing the record is not ending up in any kind of query. I will read the record, give it to you and close the matter. So, that kind of limitation for seeing the record of 7.5 years is not over at all. They can ask. Secondly, by asking, they are not going to give any notice under non-fraud case actually. Pudicha and non-fraud தான் பண்ணியாங்க. வேற வழி கிடையாது. So pudicha 17-8 short payment, they would issue a notice saying that you are a fraudster. They have to establish a standard theory only. And there have not been a visit from the department side, there will not be unearthing of all this information which has been designed in such a way that unless a prudent mechanism of audit is carried out, this facts will not be unearthed. இதெல்லாம் வந்து பிரிட்டிஷ் காரங்காலத்துல இருந்து எழுதினது. இதுதான் திருப்பி எழுதுவோம். வேற ஒன்றும் புதுசாக தெரியாது. So this is the standard what they will write. So 65 audit பண்ணுறது 17-18 எடுக்கலாமான்னா they can definitely take. Next part of your question, சரி அதே பரவாயில்ல. First they said that 17 to 2022 they will come. I gave all the papers wasting my time. Suddenly they said that 22-23 also we will see. You can always ask that, sir, can you give me an ADT1 addendum for this? You said that ADT1 you have issued. ADT2 I responded. ADT3 process you started. Suddenly you are going back to ADT1 status. Or ADT1 கொடுக்க முடியுமா? It's only a support from their joint commissioner to give a small signature. யாரும் பெருசாக கஷ்டப்பட மாட்டாங்க. He will be having small grudge over you. Oh, why are you making me to go to my joint commissioner to get a clear answer? Of course, as your client says, for buying this you can give the book. Or else you can just straight away say that with the help of your client, sir, முதல்ல எனக்கு ஒரு ADT1 கொடுங்க. How you are adding an addendum, then I will reduce it. நீங்கள் 22 சொன்னீங்க, திடீர்னு 23 இருக்கீங்க. அப்புறம் கொஞ்ச நாள் கழிச்சு 24 மாதிரி சொல்லுவீங்க. So please issue a letter because the general message is between 17 to 2022. இது general. நான் உங்களுக்காக சொல்லல, பட் இது உங்களுக்கும் அப்ளை ஆகலாம். 17ல 21 வரலும் பருப்பு வேகல, ஏதோ ஒன்று கிடைக்கல. ஸோ ஏதாவது கிடைக்காதான்னு தேடிங்க. சரி அடுத்த வருஷமா ஏதாவது கிடைக்குமான்னு தேடுறாரு. மோரலஸ் ஒரு 80% கேஸ்ல இதுக்கு இதான் அர்த்தம் ஆக்சுவலாக. சம்திங் இஸ் சர்ச், ஒன்றும் கிடைக்கல, அவர் எதிர்பார்த்த மாதிரி ஒன்றும் வேகல. அதனால ஒரு கேட்குறேன், இதான் உங்களுக்கு கிடைக்கிற மெசேஜ். இது ஆஃப் த ரெக்கார்டு, ஆஃப் த ரெக்கார்டில் சொல்ல வேண்டிய விஷயம். அதனால ஏதோ நோண்டிட்டு இருக்கேன், ஒன்றும் கிடைக்கல, பெருசாக கிடைக்கல, இல்லை நினைச்சாலும் கிடைக்கல, ஒன்றுமே கிடைக்க மாட்டேங்குது, சிக்கவே மாட்டேன்றானே. இல்லை லைசன்ஸ் இருக்குது, சரி இன்சூரன்ஸ் இருக்குது, ரைட்டு, அப்போ 11 தான் போட சொல்லணும், 8 போட்டால் வேலைக்கு ஆகாது. அந்த மாதிரி மேட்டர் இருக்குது, அவ்வளோதான். வேலை you can check it out.
One more question.
Please, please.
One of my clients has filed GSR1.
Okay.
And for some of the customers. And one of the buyer of my client has been given 90 days credit period.
Okay.
So after 90 days, like when he goes for a payment, that person is non-existent. The buyer is non-existent. So my client says that the amount is like approximately 2.5 crores. So one buyer alone, one customer alone, the value is 2.5 crores. So now my client says, see, I have already given the stock. Payment hasn't come. The buyer is nowhere. I raise a police complaint. But why should that person? But that person's GST number is still active.
Okay.
So this guy says, why should that person enjoy the credit?
Okay.
Why can't I file a sales return?
Okay.
This was the question raised. I told if you raise a sales return, the stock has to come to you.
Yes.
So the stock hasn't come to you.
Okay.
So how can you raise a sales return?
Okay.
I said only way is that you have to follow the guide and try to recover the money. Somehow he has followed the person and he was brought to the police station.
Okay.
And that guy was handing over some lakhs of money in cash.
Oh.
Again he is under 269 SS issue.
Oh, very good. Okay.
This guy is like, I am on record, I am correct. Like, நான் இந்த தப்பும் பண்ணல, நான் கரெக்டா தான் இருக்கேன்.
Okay.
But still you are saying I cannot take a sales return, I cannot accept cash. So what should I do?
Okay. See, there are certain situations where your client will make you to feel that you are not a good chartered accountant. நான் கரெக்டாக தான் பேசுறேன்னா உங்களை கேட்க வச்சுருக்கேன். As my sister says, the problem is she is saying the very provision of the law and also saying the practically workable situation. This is what is workable, she says. But the problem for him is, இவர் என்ன எதுவுமே வந்து தப்பான வழியை ஒழுங்காக சொல்ல மாட்டேன்றாரு, ஒழுங்காக படிச்சாங்களா இல்லையா தெரியல, நல்லா படிச்சுட்டு வாங்க அப்படிங்கிறாரு. This is a problem with it actually. The first part of the question is, sir, he supplied the goods and the guy is nowhere actually. I don't know what kind of Mayavi he is actually. He is gone in the winter. So this man says, sir, why should I pay the tax to the government? See, when the goods have been parted with, you are liable to pay. See the beauty of the law actually. When you are saying that I am having a stock and when you claim that somebody has stolen the stock, you have to reverse your ITC. என்ன சார் அநியாயமா இருக்கு, எவனை திருடிங் போட்டான் சார் ஸ்டாக், அது இன்சூரன்ஸ் கிட்ட போய் கேளுங்க, அது வேற விஷயம். As far as transaction tax is concerned, when the ITC has, when the material has gone out of your hand happily or unhappily, knowingly or unknowingly, the goods are not with you and the credit cannot be with you. That is what the provision section 16 says so on. So if that's the case, in the given case, for an existing or a non-existing person, you send the goods out. Unless and until you prove that physically you are holding the goods in your control, good goods or bad goods, whatever it is coming to you, you will not be able to claim the credit extra. Because that has gone. For the goods what are gone, you have to pay the tax. You sold, you get the money, you did not get the money, he died, in cash he tells 269 SS attracted for some other context, all fine. If the goods have gone, you are liable. When the goods come inside, take the credit. Can you prove that goods are come inside? Prove it. If you are, unless and until you are able to prove that goods are physically with you, you will not be take back the credit at all. And if you want to say that a sales return has happened there, all the time the 2.5 crore rupees will be a hitch. That will always be continuing as a business for you. One day or other you will be in trouble. How are you going to manage? I leave it to you. That's what you have to advise.
Sir, in addition to that question,
yes, please, sir.
If the entire money is a bad debt,
no.
Yes. No, when I am showing it as a sales, I need to pay.
Yes.
Correct, no?
Correct.
So, practically, without realizing any money, I can utilize my credit or I have to pay out of my pocket, no? So, is there is any solution for
this is applicable even for chartered accountants also, sir. Several times. Because there are 95% of the seminars where I am doing that. This question will standard question will always be there. Sir, we raise bills, money is not coming there. What is the solution for this one, sir?
Some 180 days reverse and
all are there.
But there also there is a specific inferior of services or goods or something only we are able to do that credit note or whatever it may be. But apart from this, actually for the bad debt, whether we have any solution?
Yes, sir. The question is straight and clear. Sir, I agree that I am liable to pay for my sales. Few minutes back you also told that திருடினு போனா கூட தருவித்து நீங்க தான் கட்டணும், யாரோ எடுத்து போய்ட்டான்னு சொல்லக்கூடாதுன்னு நானே தான் சேல்ஸ் பண்ண அப்போ நான் கட்டணும். I agree. But again, equally there need to be justice. It is a very genuine case of bad debt. சத்தியமா 10 பைசா வராது. So what should I do if I am not able to collect at all? Is the question. Honest answer, of course, not so very courteous answer is ஒண்ணும் பண்ண முடியாது. Very sorry. Law is not permitting you to refer a bad debt and avoid your liability in respect of it for the reason I told. It's all on the basis of supply. Supply ஆகி போச்சு, அதுக்கப்புறம் பணம் வாங்கலன்றது உங்களுடைய கான்ட்ராக்டுவல்.
But there is no natural justice now there.
அது natural justice இல்லாத போது indirectly we will find out justice actually. அது எப்படி இருக்குன்னா, what we will try to do, we will make the opposite person at least for one thing to comply with. That is, he has to agree a kind of a credit note which is talking about a deficiency in the product or service. We can make it.
So then we cannot claim it in other law now, sir.
இல்ல சார், அதாவது எப்படின்னா இது எப்படி வருது அப்படின்னா, பேட் டெட்ஸ் ரிட்டன் ஆஃப்னு நீங்கள் அந்த லாவில் சொல்லிட்டு இங்கேயே வந்து பேட் டெட்ஸ்னு சொன்னால் மட்டும்தான் மேட்சிங்காக வரும் 1 பாயிண்ட். பட் ப்ராப்ளம் என்னென்னா ஒரே மாதிரி 2 இடத்துல சொல்லுவோம். அவ்வளோதான் விஷயம்.
Illa sir, when I am saying it a bad, the money is not coming. I can take a legal action against the person. So other laws are allowing me to take that kind of action. When myself admit that my service is inferior, the goods are inferior. If I ask them to raise a credit note or a debit note, then it is I am not able. That document is proof for him to prove it. Need not pay to me, no.
Between the deep sea and devil, you have to definitely just take up one thing. If you want to fight against a bad debt and make it as a good debt, maintain it as bad debt and pay the GST, continue the fight. It is one course of action. Alternatively, mutually exclusive. Another option is saying that it is deficient service and getting rid of it, maximum portion of that one or entire portion of that one, see that is a credit note is given there and forget it. So either have the cake or eat the cake. Both will not be possible. That's what it is. Yes.
Sir, this is
This connection to this question is when liabilities are raised at GST, when sale is complete. When sale is complete, only when we receive a consideration. So we are not receiving a consideration in this case because he has made that not fake. Because then that in that case, how we will pay to the government.
The very basic point is, sale is not getting concluded on receipt actually. It's our understanding and happiness how bilaterally we do. For lawmaker, supply is attracting GST. You are liable at the time of supply. Time of supply in case of goods on delivery, not getting money. Delivery, that's all go. When you are comfortably able to see that the goods are going to the hands of the other person's possession, it's over. There the liability starts clicking.
But only when we collect the tax, only we have to remit to the government.
Not at all. No law in this world. Madam, I would like to say, please record in your mind, no law in this world. I have just closely seen not less than 103 countries, bad system actually, closely. No law in the world, as far as indirect tax is concerned, explicitly having a clause anywhere in the fine text of the book, law book, saying that please collect the money as a supply. You will not read it. Please read anywhere, any country, anywhere, any language, including our country's GST. It will not read that collect the money of tax. It will not say at all. It's only a contractual relationship between a supplier and recipient where, sir, நான் படித்த சார்ட் ஓப்பன் பண்ணேன் சார், நான் ஒரு லேடி சார்ட் ஓப்பன் பண்ணேன், நான் தப்பாக எல்லாம் உங்கள்கிட்ட டேக்ஸ் பண்ணி ஏமாற்ற மாட்டேன், என்கிட்ட கொடுங்க, நான் கவர்மெண்ட் கொடுத்தேன். ஆக்சுவலாக நான் கட்டணும், பட் நீங்கள் என்கிட்ட கொடுங்க, பிகாஸ் இட்ஸ் பார்ட் ஆஃப் அவர் கான்ட்ராக்ட். உங்களுக்கு ஒரு 100 rupees சர்வீஸ் பண்ணுறதுனால தானே 80 rupees எனக்கு கவர்மெண்ட் கேட்கும். ஸோ கிவ் மீ, I will give you. This is an understanding. Never you are acting as a person, I am government of India, give me 80 rupees, I will not at all. When the money comes to your hand, then you become an agent of the government on receipt of the money. You become a declaratory agent actually. Ana you have to remit to the government. Katlana da problem.
But I am not making government by default. I am not defaulting payment of tax, sir.
You are.
I am not in default.
Ma'am, when you are supplying, related transaction value is attracting the tax. When the delivery happens, because it's transaction tax. Transaction tax is defining very clearly what is transaction, either supply. What is time of supply, delivery. When you are liable to pay, the next 20th day. அவ்வளோதான். இதில் பணம் உங்களுக்கு வருது வரல நம்ம பிரதர் கேட்ட மாதிரி
we can reverse that we can reverse
get
the
the goods.
invoice.
Get the goods.
We can reverse the invoice, but goods has to come later. We are not able to get the goods, then what?
That is lost. Goods lost. Goods lost.
Goods lost, but tax not collected, sir.
No, tax not collected is your problem, madam.
Madam, the mandate for us is to just ensure that till the lunch comes, we have to do. I will take 2-3 points I would like to observe, because the only relationship I have with GST is that my name is generally people call me as TGS. GST, 3 letters are same. So yeah, actually I would have wished Nirmala Sitharaman ji to have presented a budget with some proposal, because that means I would have left at 12 o'clock. Because my program is 10 to 12. I have a program in Oregon. I have a client's meeting. But anyhow, so what happened actually, because nothing was there, and Prasanna was thinking that all of you should come to GST. I am very, very happy that all of you are at GST. Or most of you are at GST. By today I am extremely happy, not because I didn't get the question. That means that most of you, focus have gone to GST. That means I am very, very definitely, as the age crosses, I don't have to worry about competition because a lot of you are youngsters and I think your focus seems to be on GST. All the very best. Thank you. We continue to do a lot of work in GST. DWS is there because you are in the other side of it now. That's why we would like to have a lesson of you. Thank you.
Sir, final question from my side, sir.
Check the camera, madam.
So this 195 and 150 TDS on royalty payment to NRI. So initially it was like a 20 DTA would relief now we have to pay 20% TDS. So in the last year budget, so illana 10 and file pannom with TRC and PAN. So என்ன changes irukka in the budget to 2024?
இன்னைக்கு ஒன்றும் இல்லை மேடம், ஜூலையில் தான் வருது.
Sir, if PAN not available, it's like 20% still, because some people are saying without PAN also we can file 10. Some sort of confusions are there.
இங்கே கிளம்புறதுக்கு முன்னாடி இங்கே ஆஃபீஸ் போய் தான் கேட்டேன் நான் ஆக்சுவலாக வந்து உனக்கு கிளாரிஃபை பண்ணுறேன் அப்படின்ட்டு. ஐ திங்க் டெஃபினெட்லி PAN இஸ் ரிக்வயர்ட்.
Sir, last question, sir. Last question for you. Sir, this is related to trust, sir. Whether once we get the 12A, we have to claim the exemption under 12A is compulsory, or we can assess that case under AOP also for certain period.
In my view, yes.
The 12A will get affected if we are not claiming exemption under 12A.
See, if you go by trust and if you are not going to pay tax, there is no necessity for you to do it.
Another one, it's a very basic question relating to capital gains. The date of calculation of long-term capital gain, whether the date will be the date of handing over the possession or as per the document date of registration.
No, you can take whichever is earlier. So provided you are able to substantiate the document.
Okay. Sir, this is the last question for you, sir. Sir, normally the stock transfer happening within the state is not a problem. We are not raising only the DC, e-way bill, we can manage with that. But when the goods are transferred to our own godown at the other state, it is a problem. We need to we need to invoice it and pay the tax. So I'll take a credit there like that. Is there any way out for that, sir?
No way out allowed by law, sir, consciously. Because within the state also, distinct person within the state will also be requiring one invoice. In other words, 33 ABCD 123 1AE, one number. 33 ABCD 1BE in Tamil Nadu. One person to another person within Tamil Nadu itself, you will have to raise an invoice. Because distinct person. Registration wise, Chennai registration and but law has clearly told that within one state, one number is enough. Anywhere you can transfer. That is why you told in your example that anywhere you transfer. But consciously, on a deeming basis, whether it is your own godown, warehouse or your own place, is not a question. Once it moves out of one state to another state, irrespective of the commercial transactions, grey involved or style involved, it makes a supply consciously making you to pay the tax for one simple reason. It is very difficult for two different states to track your stock limits.
This is very problem in the case of leases.
Leases, correct.
Machineries and sometimes laptops or whatever it may be, the leasing companies,
yes, sir.
The goods from Tamil Nadu can be transferred to Karnataka or Hyderabad somewhere else.
Yes.
Again, once the lease period of 1 month or maximum they will be for 1 month, 15 days like that.
Yes.
Again, they come back to Tamil Nadu means
yes,
they are raising invoice from here, pay the tax and take the credit there, and again they have to raise the invoice from here.
No, sir. For leasing, there is one form 55 separately. There is one form actually. It is that. You have to just mention that not for sale, and that e-way bill itself will be linked with that one actually. I will just share with you personally also if you want. That form you use it will not make you to pay the tax. Say the rigging machineries, large machines will go, a kind of excavators will go. For this that form has been given. You can cross the border, the time will be given there. Within the time, some approximately 3 months, 5 months, you will claim. You will complete the work, do the completion of the lease motive, you will return. Within the time, if you are returning it, you will not be disturbed. It will be clear.
Sir, in this case, some computer kind of thing. For example, the Big Boss studio is here.
Okay.
If it is in Karnataka,
Okay.
so the people will send it for the. There are some contracts.
Okay.
We don't have any contract also.
Contract.
Suddenly they are asking, we are sending some 50,
That's
60
exceptional, sir.
things.
Yes.
So how can we manage that kind of contract?
In that situation, sir, when you are not able to establish by record that what is the purpose and the very whereabout of the person who is handling on the other side, no option, sir. You have to pay the tax and go, and you have to come back.
Sometimes that person also is not registered. Every place we are not able to mention your e-vehicle, not able to mention his registration number also sometimes.
Okay, then of course you can go for a B2C, sir. Nothing wrong with that. Now, B2C is there. Some inquiry will be there in the gate actually. You can plan, sir. Not that all the transactions need to be B2B in case of IGST transaction. B2C, lease, going out, and B2C coming back. Not a problem, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Actually, this question and answer session without any planning, all of a sudden we decided. So without get the consent of both the speaker also. So thank you, sir. Even then you are accepting that. And also I thank each and every one of you. So we raise for the national anthem. After that, followed by the lunch. Thank you.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि सरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे